It's your boy Football Time. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We have EA announces first update for college football 26. Woo! Okay, so we got first update. Don't know if it's gonna be a big one or what it's gonna be, to be honest with you, but cannot wait to see what's gonna be in this update. It's probably gonna be some server fixes, obviously, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see like if there's a big is it like a big change, like stuff like that. So without further ado though, let's jump right into this. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Revealed some of the things we can expect in the early updates for college football 26, so let's talk about them in this video. And I'm also going to be talking about some other things that they maybe have not come out and said yet, but these are things that are also going to be patched pretty soon. Now, of course, like any game, there's going to be bugs, there's going to be things that
I mean, it's a video game. If you expecting 100% of no bugs in the video game,
drop a ton of updates throughout the year to not only add new content, which is good, but to fix some of the bugs that they may have missed, and also to tweak in-game balance based on how people are playing. So they did put out a post a couple of days ago, and it said, "We're here to share some info around some of the gameplay discussions we're seeing so far. This may not be every little thing, but stick with us. There's a lot of people playing the game right now." One of the first issues they mentioned was kicking field goals. It said that we had seen some players encounter a rare issue with being unable to kick a field goal. We have confirmed this rare issue only happens if your kicker is left-footed and if the kick was going to be blocked. We'll get this one addressed for you in a future title update. So basically, if you've played any EA football game for a while, you know that when the defensive side of the special teams is timing it right and they're going to get the blocked kick animation, it kind of slows your kicker down, which it looks bad. I kind of wish they would find a better way to do this, but essentially, if you do time the block right on the other side of the ball, it slows your kicker down, and that's how a block happens. So basically, when you're seeing your kicker not be able to kick, it means the kick was going to be blocked anyway, which again, I kind of wish they would come up with a better system for this overall, but that's kind of the issue that they're having right now, but that should be patched soon. The next one they talk about is definitely a big one that I've been seeing a lot of, and it said that we're seeing conversations around two specific gameplay tactics: stiff arms being overly effective and pass protection. And when it comes to the stiff arm, it is definitely by far the best ball carrier move.
I was about to say that.
Last year, the jukes and spins were crazy. They're not as effective as they were last year, but this year we have the stiff arm. If you spam the stiff arm button, you're going to have a successful stiff arm, I would say, at least 60 to 70% of the time, which is a pretty high clip. And of course, they want the ball carrier moves to work. I don't have a huge problem with this. I do think they'll probably balance it at some point in an update, but what they said was you can always flick the right stick down to counter this with a cut stick, which takes out the ball carrier's legs. And it says, while we see the sweet highlights in the conversation, in the background we're gathering data, but there is a built-in counter to the stiff arm, so try that out for us. And that's why I don't have a massive problem with it, because yes, if you do cut stick, that completely counts.
Okay, so there is a counter for it, which is good. I've definitely heard people say the stiff arm is like the go-to. But it's good that it's got a counter. See, last year the spin moves and the jukes was like the crazy thing, and you didn't really have a counter to that, because 9 times out of 10 you would get spin, or your player is gonna go flying because you are probably switching to that defender that's about to get his ankles ying. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad that there is a counter though. I don't know. I wonder like how good does it work?
Counters the stiff arm. Yes, I do also think the stiff arm is a little too successful right now, and it's really not that it's successful in general, it's more so that you can just spam the button. I think with everything,
so you can spam it.
Should matter. If you time a juke right, you should fake somebody out. If you time a spin right, you should fake somebody out. If you time the stiff arm at the right angle, you should be successful. But the problem is people are just getting anywhere near a defender, and they're just spamming the stiff arm button over and over and over, which takes timing out of it. So I do think they're going to have some balance there. But
yeah,
yes,
I would like to
cut stick that will
like to see like a little bit like a time thing.
Stiff arm tackles. And the other one is pass protection. It says here that pass protection received a major overhaul in College Football 26, and they wanted to focus on a few key reminders about how pass protection now works. It says authenticity. All pass plays now come set with unique pass protections on a per play basis. If you're calling plays and feeling like your line is sliding to a side without you doing any inputs, that's intended. That is how pass protection would be set by default for that specific play call. So for example, under center is set to base protection by default. And then for shotgun, it says that you'll have an empty protection if all eligible pass targets are out on a route. If the halfback is on a check and release, then the default pass protection is set to half slide away from the halfback.
Which that's how it is in real life. So
is responsible for that backside. On PA plays, half slides away from the play fake are by default. So really, I would suggest get in practice mode with whatever playbook
I was just about to say that. Go to practice mode.
For the play, you can obviously...
By the way, I guess my little rant again. When I have seen on my TikTok, or have said, well, online it's a little bit different. I will say this. When it comes to pass protect or like just anything that you want to test out, go to the practice mode and just see how you feel about it. Do you think it will work? You can play against the CPU in practice mode. You don't have to do it just by yourself. So I will say do that even for online players, because a lot of times online players tend to spam the same exact play or the move, so I will say this: if you play online and you play with one team in practice mode, play with another team that you know that you're not really good at, like playing against. Play with them in practice mode, and I promise you're gonna see that, like, okay, so this is exactly how I beat this type of defense. Okay, so when he spams this on offense, I got a counter to that. Excuse me. Just giving you guys a little bit of a tip for you online guys, and for offline as well. Play with a team that play with your rival. Play with a rival team. You know what I mean? Or a team that you would never thought to play with in college football. And just see how theirs is, and then you can incorporate into your favorite team. I think that's a smart thing to do. Just a little just a little announcement.
Reset pass protection on any play by hitting LB or L1. Flick down on the left stick. That will set it to just a regular base protection, which you're used to having in all of the previous college and Madden games. But it's good to kind of know this, because it can throw you off if you're not understanding why a line is sliding a certain way. It's because they have built-in protections that are realistic for that play call now. Now we're going to continue on with some more updates, but really quickly I want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog. If you like
sports, Underdog,
then you EA, it said, one last thing, since we mentioned snapping the ball, we're seeing some players encounter a rare issue where they are unable to snap the ball occasionally. And I have seen a number of people talk about this. Yeah, thankfully, I have not run into this yet. It does seem to be a pretty rare thing, but I've seen a few people mention this issue. It says here that they've investigated the issue and are working to address it as soon as possible. And it says here, in our investigation, you can hit this rare issue when you're at the line of scrimmage and you hit the right trigger or R2, plus up on the right stick, and then release them both simultaneously.
I think I've seen this in Madden before.
You're pulling up your coach cam to look at the play, and if you're releasing both buttons simultaneously, while rare, this will have that bug happening to you because you're doing this most people on every play. They're always checking their coach cam. I mean, I do that as well.
Yeah, I do it. Hey, I do it as well.
We are seeing a successful workaround with repeatedly pressing the B or circle button several times, or attempting another pass protection adjustment with the LB or L1 button. This one is for sure on our radar, and it is a top priority to address. So yes, I have heard specifically, if you pull up pass protection, if you're in this thing where you can't snap the ball for whatever reason, if you pull up your pass protection with LB or L1 and then like cancel out of that, usually that does fix the issue. But I mean, this is one of the, craziest issues you could have in a game, rare or not. I mean, not being able to snap the ball is a crazy thing.
That is definitely a crazy one and very rare.
I don't think most people are experiencing this, which is good. But
I haven't heard about this before.
You don't know how to get around it.
But like I said,
literally ruins the
like
game
the
for
older
you. So
Maddens, one of the older Maddens, I remember seeing this bug.
This is mostly gameplay related stuff, but we do know that they're going to be addressing some stuff with Dynasty pretty quickly. Like, for one, we know that there's way too many weather games for some reason right now. A lot of rain games in Dynasty. Not the biggest game breaking thing in the world, but just kind of annoying. It just kind of takes you out. I mean,
for some that'd be cool.
That many rain games. That's going to be fixed very soon. I would think in the first update.
I have actually not seen somebody play in a rain game so far.
Positions in Dynasty, which is a big issue because a lot of people want to change player positions. That's kind of the fun of Dynasty. Now, I will say that the skill cap issue with changing positions, some of these are intentional. They said that before the game came out, that you're going to have some serious skill caps if you're trying to drastically change positions, because the problem is last year people were cheesing this. You know, they were taking speedster wide receivers, converting them to halfbacks, and it was
so they kind of nerfed it. You see, this is why we can't have nice things, ladies and gentlemen.
To a completely different position. I think that is mostly working as intended. However, if you're changing within the same position, for example, changing a guy from left tackle to right tackle or left edge to right edge, you're not supposed to be seeing that happen in those situations. So that is something they're going to be addressing. I just wanted to put it out there that for the more serious examples, it is supposed to be that way. And I do think they're going to be tweaking some stuff with the deal breakers, because while the deal breakers are supposed to be dynamic and drastic and way more people are supposed to enter the transfer portal, I do think there are situations where, you know, people are transferring when it doesn't make sense. Playing time is definitely one that, you know, people have said seems to be quite broken, because a guy could be playing every game, have good stats, and then transfer because of playing time. It does seem like this happens when they're at smaller schools.
I've definitely heard about this.
The game is kind of confusing this, and the player is transferring more so because he wants to play for a better school now. But if it's saying it's playing time and the guy has a bunch of playing time, doesn't make sense. It would make more sense if his deal breaker maybe changed to wanting pro potential or wanting a better school or championship contention or something like that.
Yeah, or like closer to home, maybe.
Disappearing once they hit the transfer portal because the deal breakers are making it to where it's hard for them to be signed by teams. So obviously that stuff is going to be addressed and tweaked, but they just have not put out a full post on that yet. So I wanted to make sure to mention that here. Now, in terms of other things that will be coming in the early updates, I mean, if we go back to last year, we kind of know how they operate. We're definitely going to be getting a lot more uniforms added to the game because college
they did a lot of that last year.
And sometimes they want to unveil them before EA puts them in the game. So some of them they get in the game before the football season starts. Sometimes they have to wait till they're revealed on social media or until they wear them in a game. But we know we're going to be getting a lot of uniform updates to the game. I do think we'll be seeing some type of equipment updates because that typically happens every year as well. And obviously right now there's kind of a big push from people to put more equipment in the game. So we should be seeing something with that. Whether or not that's going to be the first update.
I think last year they did an equipment thing, maybe like the second update, if I'm not mistaken. I know they put a little bit in the first one, but I think it was the second one that was like the big one.
But curious to see if they're going to do maybe a little more of that this year, since there's been some pushback of the lack of some of the more updated equipment that's still missing from the game. But that's about all I've got for right now. Of course, I'll let you guys know more as we find out more.
All right. Yeah, so I already made my little announcement. I guess you could say gave you guys some advice. But the hiking thing, I can't remember what Madden it was. It might have been like Madden. It might have been Madden 20. But I saw that bug. No. Did I experience it? No. One of my friends was playing Madden 20 one day, and he saw that bug, and he asked me. He was like, "Yo, what do I do?" And I'm looking. I'm like, "Oh, I've never seen this before." So it's definitely like one that's like you see it and you kind of remember it, but it's like years from now that you remember it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah, that did happen at one time. You know what I mean? But I'm glad to hear that they're, looking into it and trying to fix it. And there is a fix out there for it, but obviously you will want a built-in one instead of you having to manually do it yourself. So that's good. That's good to hear and hopefully see. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Love you guys and see you guys in the next one.